Good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. It looked like Keith Parris Cup reported he'd have a little press laying in there. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, man.
Clark Kent, what's happening?
You with it?
Well, damn.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, how
That's
loud you got
man.
me up?
That's you. I ain't got you no louder than you was the last show.
No, I ain't never been that loud.
Might be a
And
reason.
I'm back and I'm proud.
Is that a good level for you, Clark?
Yes, it is.
All right.
I think it might be too loud. Let me back him down a little.
Oh man, he done cut the volume. What's happening, y'all?
We in here, man. It's gonna be a peaceful day. Certainly. No Jermaine. I don't think he's gonna call back. He did.
You supposed to be doing the Jermaine impression.
Who?
You?
No, not yet. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I could have. Are we in the bed? We out the bed? Okay.
Yeah, man. I don't even know how to follow your directions.
Oh, you'll
man.
be fine. You'll be fine. Trust me.
All right. So good morning, Clark. Good morning, Debo. Good morning, Jermaine. I don't understand. If you're not at work, why you calling? But all right,
That part right there.
You could have gave the work.
You needed the day off to call in.
to call in.
Yeah, man, y'all cold. He called in. Y'all cold.
Boy, I tell you, do more at home than you do you actually on the job. Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh man, it's Thursday. I have just people. Sophie wondered. I have a funeral to go to this morning, so that's why I'm looking like Michelle.
Nobody was wondering.
Keep your head on, huh?
Yeah, nobody was wondering. It's your business.
Nobody was wondering.
I mean, there are times when you come in and you just got a meeting, and Michelle always wants to assume it's always a funeral.
Yeah, but usually if I'm dressed, it's usually a funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's but that's okay.
Well, but in your line of work.
Yeah, but this is just someone I know. It's not.
But still, yet in your line of work, it's certainly a great. Yeah,
your line of vocations.
Yeah, it is certainly encouraging, supportive when the man of the cloth shows up. So in that light, you're always good to see.
Where did that come from?
What man of the cloth? I don't know. You're supposed to know that. You're the one.
I'm getting ready to find out, man.
Yeah.
Of the cloth.
Because he Baptist, or he ain't saved. He ain't no Christian.
He has that because he does not know.
All right. All right. The term originated in the early 1700s, with the cloth referring specifically to distinctive attire worn by clergy members. While historically referring to men, the phrase also applies to women as woman of the cloth. So it's probably but that's the whole thing. And I'm a womanist, and I just think, for example, there is.
Did you see his face?
What's that?
Did you see Debo's face when you said I'm a womanist?
I'm just glad the "is" part was put on there.
Trying to have an intelligent conversation.
Well, you should do that with Debo.
True.
But there is something I just believe that women are equally as called to the vocation as men, and understand that there is still a patriarchy there in terms of we just believe that it's men that are called, but I do believe God calls whomever she wants to call.
See, there you go. There you go. It's been a minute since you did that, and immediately.
So they do things like they'll call it suffrage. Like I'm gonna give an example. Bishop Parris. She's referred to as suffrage bishop, which in my mind, now that doesn't happen in the AME church, where in terms of Black religious movement, the AME church, CME church, but certainly the AME church was out front in terms of ordaining women,
yeah,
allowing women to preach.
Apostolic too, though, right?
Yeah, but even in the apostolic, they will. It seemed to me that there's a hierarchy that women bishops do not have the same status as male bishops.
Well, that's because
And so
probably
when you hear this term,
99% of
like
those organizations are male ran.
exactly, and so I think women are. I don't know why God couldn't use women, but that was because men dominated, and men still do dominate. You go to a church, and 80% of the congregants are female, but I would say that maybe 95% of the ecclesiastical ministry.
How many women do you think? And I'm saying this from a real different position because I've been going to service. I haven't officially joined. I haven't taken the right hand of fellowship or any of that. But right now we have Michelle, who is labeled, or the title she has been given is overseer. But how many women do you think are looking to be led by women versus a pastoral figure being
I think
a
that
man?
that's part of the stumbling block is that women have been so programmed to see males in a religious context and leadership that it's hard for some women to be able to see women in that same role. Even though women are usually better prepared for ministry in terms of education, in terms of how they prepare themselves. But yeah, I tend to be more inclusive, and this goes back to my support goes back to Brenda Kearney, and I can remember when Brenda there
St. John, was
at
it?
St. John's,
Yeah.
and her first of all, she's like one of the great preachers ever.
Oh yeah, Brenda could go.
So there are people out there, but we still have a long way to go.
But they had a great choir.
Yeah.
Johnny Jackson, her dad, Elder Johnny Jackson, he was
there
good.
at WNOV.
Yeah, he worked for the radio, but he could sing, and he could preach.
Yeah, and they come from. I know he came from the quartet tradition. My mom would always my mom would love quartets and talk about these guys back in the day and how they go see quartets and but the CME church a bit more progressive than the Baptist church when it comes to this, and a lot of this, I can just say it frankly, is around education. That if I think the more you're exposed to things, the way you look at things are different, and so for a lot of people, we are either the victims or beneficiaries of our catechism. That means our early religious instruction.
Oh, so you felt like you need to break that down for me?
Yeah. I mean, because I think a lot of what we do. I just saw some.
No. I'm saying you felt like you needed to break down the word catechism.
No, not just for everybody.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to.
No, I wasn't directing it at you yet. But
Yeah.
no, I mean and it's there are women though who I know. Let's look in the civil rights movement. You had people like Ella Baker, who was really down for the cause, and Dr. King. And as much as I loved and admired him, Dr. King was also a product of his time and his sense of what women should be. I think only 2 women participated in the March on Washington. What's her
From
name?
a leadership standpoint, you're referring to?
Speaking had parts, and one
okay.
sang. So
Yeah.
it was Josephine Baker, which I still to this day don't understand why it was Josephine Baker, and Mahalia Jackson sang. But the rest of it was men. But it was the women who organized. The Freedom Rides was organized by a young lady named Diane Nash there in Nashville. So I think, but a lot of that is us. I was a little concerned, and if I can tie this in, because I wanted to talk about the situation with Cesar Chavez, women understood their role, and I think that
Well,
they
but
knew
Keith, when you say they understood their role,
they understood their role in terms of
it was a role they were given, or a
No.
role they accepted.
both. I think
Because I mean, sometimes you see an opportunity, and then when you start to do it, you might get pushback. So that when you say they understood,
we have a tendency though to kind of look the other way if it's men who are involved in certain type of behavior, and primarily, but it's disturbing. And I think I read the New York Times because they were the people that broke the story. And when you read the article, it talks about how there are documents out there alluding to his behavior, but the movement, and that's the other thing. Is it the movement or is it the man and or woman? Sometimes movements are personality driven.
mm-hmm.
And so, we're going to do everything to support the personality. I think the movement is more important than the personality because guess what? If I'm leading the movement, at some point I'm going to die or I'm going to move away. But that doesn't mean that the movement should stop. And you see that in organizations where, people might, let's say, join a church because they love the pastor, but it's bigger than the pastor. And that's kind of hard for people. And so when something happens with the pastor, then they fall away,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so it's always how important is the institution, the goals of those institutions, what you're trying to do. But we get into personalities. That there has been widely reported about the dalliances of Dr. King. Okay. Widely reported. It wasn't just what the FBI was doing. Taylor Branch, he writes about it. David Garrow writes about. These are people who are biographers of Dr. King. I mean, so, and then here's the other piece. These folks are human. But sometimes now the movement and people around, like, I didn't hear a whole lot of condemnation of Eddie Long. I didn't hear a lot of it from people who went after it. But when Carlton Pearson offered an alternative view of practice Christianity, he was blackballed and destroyed. He asked a question, and that question sent everybody, but no, we don't have a problem. So you can't tell me that when Eddie Long would show up for these conferences and conventions and he'd have 16-year-old boys with him that, people are looking, but then now because they might have their thing. And here's the honor among thieves. So do we call up? I look at people like, and and again, I'm not a member of this movement, but I get frustrated with Bishop Wooten, because he criticizes everything and everybody. Now after a while, are we putting a microscope on your life? So I think we need to be careful, and it's hard having this conversation. And here's the issue with Cesar Chavez. These are underage young women. That's rape. It doesn't matter who it is. It's rape. Now, does that, or I guess the question that I would ask everyone, does it diminish the work he did with the United Farm Workers? And let me say something to Meech, because I just get so frustrated with this brother. There were Black folks who were migrant workers in fields. I'll say it one more time. There were Black folks who were migrant workers in fields. For example, what was happening in Florida where people down picking fruit. Well, a lot of those folks down there picking fruit had come from Georgia to go to Florida as migrant workers. So what he was trying to do was talk about this whole impact of those folks who are, farm workers who were being abused. It didn't matter if you were in California, if you were in Florida. It didn't matter if you were descendants of enslaved Africans. It didn't matter if you were Chicano. It didn't matter, right? It was exploited labor. And that's what he was pushing against. So the question always is, does the good work, is it diminished because of human failures? Is the good work diminished because of human failures, frailties? So I think it's and then it depends on if you like the person or not. And so, I partially agree with Michelle when it says it's selected outrage. Well, it depends on who it is, right? Because if it's somebody that I don't like, oh man, judgment of God. If it's somebody that I do like, I have a different relationship with, then we want to extend grace. Maybe we should just get out the judgment business, period, because of just how flawed it is to judge people based on their behavior. I think there was a lot of people who thought the movement was so important. Cesar Chavez was iconic in terms of that movement. And so there are people who don't want to diminish it. So my question is, do we change the 16th Street, go back to being 16th Street? Because right now, South 16th Street is Cesar Chavez. We know about the dalliances of Dr. King. Do we now take down MLK Drive because we find out that he's human? I don't know. Y'all help me. 414-444-5250, 444-5250. We we find out, upon the death of Jesse Jackson, right? The family is still dealing with the issues there. I think they embraced the young lady Ashley, a child that was fathered outside of wedlock, outside of his marriage. From everything I hear, though, they made sure that she was taken care of. If the reports to be believed, Jackie felt like we should not be penalizing her because of the decision that her mom and her dad made, right? So let me give her credit for that. I don't know how many of y'all saw Fences and how Denzel had fathered a child, and then that child comes to live with his wife, and she basically raised the child as her own. I mean, wow. And I say this about adult relationships. Adult relationships are complicated. So it's not that easy to say, because truth be told, some of us have had some interesting circumstances around our birth, right? I remember someone was talking about all the kids that Stevie Wonder has. I think Stevie Wonder got like 8 kids. They talk about all the kids that Eddie Murphy has. I say, here's the difference, though. All those kids are taken care of. All those babies are taken care of. And they're going to be taken care of for the rest of their lives, right? So sometimes it really doesn't matter how you get here. It's what happens once you get here. So I got some comments here. Let me read. Let's see. Let's keep it real. You have to remain humble. It's easy to get the big head where you get a God complex. So you think you can have what you want. King and Jackson had affairs. Affairs and statutory rape are very different. Yep, I agree. Methodists have a lot of women, pastors, and bishops. The rest of you need to catch up.
Point blank.
I agree. I have received text. Let me see a text I just received.
Some women can certainly run rings around some of these men in leadership.
Oh, yeah.
They just have a better grasp of it. Oh, by the way, your phone will be back next week. It should have been here today, but it's definitely going to be here next Thursday.
And then nobody will call. Shalom, brother. Ask all those who are now benefiting from the work and sacrifice of the individual if they're willing to relinquish those obtained benefits that have and are made their lives easier. Great point. I mean, it's hard. It is really hard. And like I said, depending on who it is, who you don't like, there are many women who got in the streets on January 21st 2020, was it 20? Biden won. So 2017? Yeah. 1 million folks got in the streets to protest Donald Trump. 1 million women. I was just looking on the table and Rhonda's pussycat was out. Where, that's what they called them. They were like these pink cats.
Okay. You didn't have to pause.
No, they were just, you kind of snickered. So I'm just telling you why I used the term. That's what they were called.
What were they, a hat or some kind of hat they wore or something?
Yeah, they were pink hats with ears on it because it was going after Donald Trump saying, I grabbed him by there.
Right.
And so they used that as a rallying cry and 1 million people. So there have been people who push back. There are people who do not see it in their political interest to go after the truth, right? And so this is why Pam Bondi, and look, this dude has created an environment where it's okay to lie. I mean, it's okay to lie.
Not just lie. They talk about people. I've heard profanity used. I've seen folks address committees in Congress that you never saw folks converse that way is the word I'll use.
Yeah, I think that we
combative.
And maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's a good thing that you kind of know where people stand, where they have these moments of honesty. We got a caller. Yeah. Caller, welcome to the program.
Well, see, the stuff you're talking about, the reason why they find it to be okay, because they're from the low end of the trailer. And the low end of the trailer is where everything go in the septic tank. But you know what I wish when he had them two middle fingers? I wish some of them women had a disease or they had some teeth down there so they can bite their fingers off and they walking around here just with knuckles. But what I was going to ask you is, have you noticed how there's a connection with the Republican Party and rape? Because, they don't ask, they just take. Have you noticed that?
I'm not going to put that as much.
I am. You don't have to. I will.
You can't just solely put it on them.
No.
Yes, I can, because they're popping up every day in media for some rape.
I think that there are some Dems who have been out and been accused of rape. And Michelle's point is a great point. It really depends on who has.
Well, how about this?
Has the megaphone. I'm just saying it's a human condition that is not limited to party.
Well, how is it that it's a human condition, but the people that's doing all the complaining and saying is wrong is the ones that's taking the pennies and ain't even giving you money for a dish?
Well, hypocrisy has been with us as long as it's been us, man. So people can say one thing and then they doing something else. That ain't new.
But like I said, you don't have to say it, but I will say it because, you at the pulpit. I'm not. So okay. I don't want them holding you up under the fire because I welcome the fire. But my question to you about this Chavez, she had 2 kids, right?
Yeah.
So how do you let somebody rape you not once, but twice? And where was your mother and father at during this time?
Well, I think during the movement, and that's the thing about movements, and I would even put religion in this. There is no major religious Christian group in this country that's not dealing with some form of a sex scandal. Mm-hmm. The Mormon Church, right? You have the Southern Baptists, they're dealing with issues where you had pastors who were having inappropriate relationships with parishioners, and like the Catholics did with the pedophiles, they moved them to a different place, different spot. So
and then you heard about how a lot of those ICE agents and them kids up in those planes, a lot of them is coming up pregnant. You heard about that?
Yeah, that they were abusing children in some of these detentions. That is true. I mean, these
are Proud Boys supposed to make America great, but they, but all these white nationalist Christians rape and take. I'm just trying to push a point because it just seemed like everybody who's Big Bad, Billy Wayne, John Thornton, Elvis Presley dancing around in a sundress at the age of 9 or marrying a kid on the church steps of Tennessee. 47 and they like the age of 9. I'm just connecting all the dots like we connect the train.
Know what, Al? It's just been recent, maybe in the last 20 years, that most states have raised their age of consent. Like in Wisconsin, there is the age of consent is 18, right? But I can remember when I was going to school in Maryland and DC, I think it was like 12, 13, and a lot of this had to do with, again, the position of women and how, and here's the science part of this that we miss. At 13, 14, when a kid moves from prepubescence to puberty, once you reach puberty, you are a biological adult. What makes you a biological adult is your ability either to create or to have children, right? So back in the day, there was no age thing. Women were getting married at 14, at 13. So
I think that's, just my personal opinion, I think it's sick. I think it's animalistic. I think a big grown man is less than a man, that you're trying to touch something that's 12 and 13, and you deserve to have your nuts cut off and your penis pushed down your mouth.
all right.
Y'all have yourself a
Appreciate
good day.
it. Almost got through it. All right. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Couple of points, Dr. Parris.
Yes, sir.
You need to be very careful before Debo takes your pastorhood away and push you down, because he's preaching this morning and he's preached before. Another thing about all the issues we're talking about, I said it before, Epstein was Jewish. That doesn't come up too much. And I've said it many times. This color thing came up so the stupid, super stupid could discriminate. Yeah. Behind everything is money, and you can put money as power. And anybody who has money has always ruled. Power and money. They haven't gotten behind Epstein's source of money yet. And they're not looking too hard. He probably was richer than all the people that came to see him.
Right.
And y'all have a good one.
Yeah, you make a great point, because he put people in compromising situations.
Right.
And he could incriminate them. When you sit up and think, there are 1 million documents? I mean, more than 1 million documents.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are speculating that he had a relationship with the Israeli Secret Service Mossad, and that you put people in compromising situations, and he was also a money launderer. That's what he did. So when people look, you're absolutely correct. It's about the money, right? But he used sex, because what happens is, and let me use this term, the devil will find out your point of vulnerability, and that's where you'll be attacked, right? And so if you have it's like the dude was down, Lesnick, whatever it is, he was down there, but I had my family with me. Well, okay, all right.
If you got enough money, you can do anything.
Yeah, but you know what? I talked about karma yesterday, but at some point, those chickens come home to roost, right?
Another thing too, I brought this up to your sister yesterday, and she hurt my feelings by cutting me off. Black Rock. You and Michelle need to look into Black Rock and explain it where we can understand it.
Yeah, Black Rock, they changed their name.
I know, but but it's an umbrella. They got everything. We think big things are big, but they're under Black Rock. Mm-hmm.
All right. Yep.
Y'all have a good one.
All right. You're listening to Community Voice. Well, we got another call. You're gonna call. Okay. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Hey, what's up, my brother?
What's happening, brother?
Hey, man, you looking sharp, man. Go on, brother. You looking smooth. Hey,
thank you.
A man, one thing about a man, you're going to have some kind of vice in your life. I don't know if it's drugs or whatever you do, or women. A man going to have a vice, and that's just the way it is. A man going to have something that they got to do. And when you in the public life, you can't be doing drugs and you can't do all that stuff. So they do the women thing. A man going to have a vice. Peace, brothers.
All right. Appreciate you. You're listening to Community Voice. The phone lines are open 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Right. Where DJ? uh, yeah. Dr. Ward was talking about BlackRock and Black. hmm? Okay. BlackRock is the largest asset manager overseeing approximately $12.5 trillion in assets as of 2025, founded in 1988 in New York and led by CEO Larry Fink. It provides global investment management, risk management, and advisory services, including iShare, ETFs, and the Aladdin technology platform. The firm serves institutional and retail clients aiming to foster financial well being. $12.5 trillion. That's a whole lot of money. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I just want to put this in. I'd like to give shout out to those people in Washington County who voted down that Charlie Kirk and protested against it, naming that road Charlie Kirk. For real. Or
Well, they forwarded it. I don't know if it's going to pass. The committee forwarded it.
So it is true.
Yeah.
Did you see the Nazi who's putting it forth?
Yeah.
He got the haircut and everything. He's like, yeah, I used to read it all over him. But those people speaking up, I was shocked, to be honest.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you said, they could overrule it. So, but at least the people spoke up. Either they think, hey, Milwaukee too close to us, don't get them started.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
I'm like Richard Pryor said back in the days. Somebody said something about them. You want them haters too?
Right.
Get them people say you're a little too close to us. Don't bring them here.
And Charlie.
All right, y'all have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too. Charlie Kirk is what they call Jim Crow Esquire. That how you can come across. Charlie Kirk always came across as being reasonable. I'd listen to other people. We need to have this dialogue, and then he would spew all of this hate. Right. It's kind of ironic. The place he was killed in Utah, which is, if anybody knows, it's a Mormon state. He was just getting ready to have a debate about whether or not Mormonism is a real religion. That was part of why he was there, to have this whole discussion about Mormonism. So you can come across, you can dress something up. Somebody mentioned David Duke the other day. David Duke went in and sanitized himself in such a way, but he was still a Ku Kluxer. He was still the Klan. And you can go in and you can kind of try to modulate the language that you use, but it's still the substance of what's being said, not so much how it's being said. You need to listen to what is being said. It is where you can go for certain people and use a scripture. And when you use the Bible, people going to fall back because it came from the Bible. And you're going, yeah, just because you use it don't mean that you use it properly, use it in context. How you're using it is right. So, yeah, I now, if those folks want to do it, I think the other piece of it is where they're going to find the $50,000 to do it. Because I think that's what it's going to cost in order to do it. And, and we name things after folks, and, we do these honors that, and people feel like it's deserving. Charlie Kirk was deserving. We're finding out how ambitious his widow is at this point in terms of what she is. So I am not justifying anyone losing their life. It ain't that serious where, you lose your life. And with Charlie Kirk, now I know there's the conspiracy people out there with a Q. But here's one of these random things where he had said something that someone took offense to, and that's how they reacted. So, does the Bible say that you have the power of life and death is in the tongue? Now, that doesn't mean we shouldn't speak. I'm just saying that speech can lead to people's reactions or how they respond to you. But yeah, I don't, good they're doing it in Washington County, not Milwaukee. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, man. I have my radio up. Hey, listen, I keep hearing you talk about Charlie Kirk and others. Listen, let's be realistic. I'm not going to say that Charlie Kirk lost his life rightfully. He was killed by a sodomite. Okay? No matter what you
That
want
has
to say
nothing to
about
do
it.
that.
Hold on, the brother.
No,
I
don't. That ain't got nothing.
If he was racist, though, it wasn't racist towards blacks or whites. It was racist towards. The racism that struck him down was not a black man that struck him down, and we need to get that understood. It wasn't even a Latino person that struck him down. It was a gay man that said he was protecting his lover. They found the letter. He was saying he's protecting him. You understand that?
Okay. So what's your point?
My point is, what you saying that Charlie Kirk died because he was racist? So are you
That's
saying
not what
he
I
was
said. No, that's not what I said.
Well, what did you say?
I said it was random. It wasn't a conspiracy. That's what I said.
Okay, but you did throw in the extra part about
No,
racism.
I talked about him being racist because he was.
Okay.
But that's
Okay,
not
but
why he died.
But
And then
you racist.
I'm sorry.
But me and you are racist.
I don't know, because people look at we don't have power.
Okay, come on now.
We don't have power. So yeah, we might have biases. Racism is systemic.
Well,
racism.
That's what they say.
No, that's what it is.
Okay.
It's systemic. I was just I'm just watching this piece on the riot report, the Kenner report that was done in 1968. The irony was that I talked about it yesterday, the summer of 67, where over 100 cities burned. And so they come up trying to find the root causes of it. When the root causes came out, LBJ wouldn't even accept it. He wouldn't even accept the report. And then less than a month later, after release of that report, Dr. King was assassinated. And guess what? The country caught on fire again. Okay, and then what they point out, and I love Jelani Cobb, he points out the conditions that existed then still exist today.
That's right. If you look at that song, if you listen to the Temptations song, I forget the name of the song, but they describing what's going on right now. However, man, when we talk about Charlie Kirk and these sodomites are doing most of the killings, and you take a deep breath when
you use this term. First of all, you use the term inappropriately. So let's start with that, and then that whole term sodomite comes from Sodom and Gomorrah, and this whole trope about Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed because of homosexuality. That is not why Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed.
Well, why was it destroyed? Because
it was destroyed because of lack of hospitality.
Hey man, you never cease to amaze me, man, with this stuff, man. You something else, man.
I know.
So it was hospitality to the angels, and that's why God got mad.
And let's point something out.
Let
me point something out. In war, men certainly during ancient times would rape other men. That was a sign of humiliation. And so that's why they did that.
I don't know nothing about that.
Of course you don't know anything. You got to read.
Well, if you give me some literature to read that, maybe Rome might have did something like that, because Rome is full of that kind of behavior. But
what I'm saying is that it's like rape. Rape is not about sex. Sex is the weapon used for rape. That's the difference.
So you still never.
So when you use that term like it was sodomite, and I do know that the guy who's the alleged killer said he was offended because of Charlie Kirk going after trans people.
But not only him, the rest of these killers that's been killing, ain't no heterosexuals been doing no killing, man. I mean, it is. I take that back.
What are you talking about?
I said, let me check that, man.
Most homicides are by heterosexuals. What are you talking about?
Hold on. The last, I did not check myself.
Okay.
The last few killings that have been done in regards of this political movement of Donald Trump being racist has been the racism that trans people or gay people feel that they're being discriminated about, and those are the guys that's been doing the killing here lately, man. And that's scary.
let me, and this is kind of a softball lob to you. So do you have a problem with people who might want to transition from male to female or female to male?
Brother, do you know I got a problem with it? Do you have a
Why
problem?
do you have a problem with it?
Because that's not the way God. See, listen, man, it's wrong. And the reason why I know it's wrong because it's against the very law of nature. Let's take God out of the equation. Let's take the devil out of the equation. Let's take heaven and hell and sin all out of the equation. Okay? It's wrong because it's against the law of nature. The law of reproductivity makes it wrong. That's in the discussion. We don't got, you believe that a man can have a baby? He got no uterus. Joe Biden even said that. And then he went back on the deal. Joe Biden stood up and preached a sermon about a man don't have a uterus. He broke it down too. And guess what? He's in that whole deal, man. So
you believe that people are either born male or female?
Yeah, but for some
is that supported by science?
What do you mean?
That people is absolute, that people born male and female, absolutely, that's supported by science?
Yeah, besides the act of the freak of nature, where there's
so what science supports that?
Okay, all science.
Okay.
You know, a man cannot be a woman.
Okay.
Are you saying a man can be a woman?
I'm saying that no, I'm not saying. Well, when you say can a man be a woman, let's use the.
Can he be a biological woman?
Let's look at biology. If you say his ability to be able to carry a child, the answer is no.
Okay. Is he able to ministrate and clean these bodies?
No, anything that has to do with that form of reproduction at the same time.
So anything other than that, Keith, would be mental. You would be that you think it's like me going down on 27th and Bird Eye on a hot summer night.
Then that they were created that way?
No.
Why not?
No. Because it doesn't work that. Even if the boy shows signs of femininity as a child, even if what is it that defines our sexuality? What is it in terms of biology? When the last time you went to the bathroom and stood in front of the stall? That'll tell you.
Okay, but you're not. We're trying to have a fact-based conversation.
But we are having one.
Okay,
I'm asking you. That is fact.
So I'm asking you, isn't it something with chromosomes? Isn't it also something with testosterone and estrogen? Aren't all these things that kind of go into making who we are?
I know a woman.
So let me ask the question then.
Hold on.
Who created
that she grows?
So no, you were very absolute. So you say men.
I am absolute.
All right. So you say that men, females are females, males are males. Okay.
Correct.
So let me move away from that. Can you explain to me why we have albino people?
Well, because you're at the apex of the gene. When and guess what? Hold on, brother.
Oh, so it's genetic.
That's a genetic defect.
No, it's not a genetic. It's a genetic exception.
Well,
not a defect.
You can say what it is, but your science would call it. Your science, outside of how you trying to dress it up, would call it a genetic defect.
No, they would say it would be a genetic exception.
Okay, well, exception because we accept it.
No, because the vast majority of people have melanin and they're not albino. And so albinos then become the exception to the general rule in terms of melanin.
Oh, can a white person be an albino?
Yes, they're white. They're white albinos.
Then. Okay, then, because there's no melanin in their skin, right? So white people do have melanin. But see, now we're going down another whole rabbit hole, man.
No, the point I'm trying to make is that you're doing it from a personal. When you talk about people being sodomites, then in effect you're saying that somehow people who are homosexual are defected people. I do not accept that premise.
Okay, if a man puts some socks in his chest and say he got breasts,
don't mean that he's defective.
Hold on, and really believe it.
Don't mean that he's defective.
I tell you what, if I put a Spider-Man suit on right now and go down on 27th and Bird Eye on a hot summer night and jump out that car and say, "Hey, y'all stop selling dope and selling woo-woo around here. stop in the name of Spidey. And I started really believing that I'm Spider-Man. Ain't nothing gonna get me back to reality to them boys.
Did you believe that you were genetically born Spider-Man?
If I do believe that, guess what? I am something is wrong. I've become psychotic.
So do you
at that
think
point.
do you think the gay
And I'm
people
psychotic anyway,
do you
so
think that
I'm a psychotic being.
do you think that gay people are defective?
I believe they psychotic when they reach
No,
that
I
point.
didn't ask you that. I asked you, do you think they're defective?
What does psychotic mean? Does that mean a defect? Does that mean a mental defect?
Well, psychotic is kind of like a diagnosis.
Okay, a diagnosis.
The
So they've
American the American Psychiatric Society or Association has removed
that a
that
defect?
language. No, I don't think it's a defect. I think it's a part of who they are.
Is it an ill? Is it an ill?
You know,
Is it a mental illness?
the Catholic Church had problems with redhead, left-handed people. They thought that left-handedness and redheadedness was the mark of the devil. Were they right?
Listen, no, but
Okay.
that's Irish. That's all Irish stuff.
Well,
there.
no,
But anyway,
okay, but what I'm saying is that it really
Do-
depends.
I'm
And
asking a question. So before you kick me out of here, do you believe that is a mental illness? Because
No.
you people are okay. So what defines mental illness then? Because that's all I hear on the radio, especially when Quack Coo come on. You know the Quack. I mean, I'm sorry, Quack Coo. Quack
Kwaku,
Coo come on.
Kwaku,
What's his name?
Kwaku.
Quack Coo. Okay, well, anyway, he comes on. He talks about mental illness. So is that a defect? Is that a mental illness?
No,
when a
it's
person
not.
believes that he's something that
Not
he's
according
not, or
not
she believes-
according to the American Psychiatric Association. This is not. All right. Appreciate you, man. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Just to add to the conversation, because I'm hearing this conversation about being gay and it being natural and it being normal. And again, I think you are one of those people that advocate for extreme leftist propaganda, which I'm not a Republican. But my point to you is, why do you argue on the side of being gay as normal when obviously it is environmental and it's a choice? People have all type of perverted thoughts. Do you act on those thoughts? How often have you walked down the street or been in an environment where you saw an attractive woman and you thought to yourself what you would do to her sexually? Did you act on that thought? No. Why? Because you understood that it was against the law and it would be a violation of her body. So if you choose to act on being gay, that's a choice you're making because you understand that it's not natural. You cannot reproduce a child being gay. So my thing is, why do you argue on the side of
So let me ask you a question.
junk science?
Let me. Is it junk science? Let me ask
It's
you a
definitely,
question.
it's not biology. It's not
It
biology.
is biology.
It's not. It's biology in the sense of you having a mental disease.
You have a mental
the same way
disease.
Listen. If you want to,
so
if you wanna cross a
heterosexuals.
grown person,
So
wait a minute, hold on.
heterosexuals are not. They don't have a mental defect.
Of course not, because it's natural. It's
Okay.
the way God intended us to be. It's biology.
You're not gay, are you?
Of course, I'm not gay.
Okay, so then how would you know then what a gay person's experience
What do
is?
you mean? Because I've been on this earth.
No.
long enough
How
to
do you know?
understand
How
what-
do you
what
know?
natural
Just like
is
how
about.
do you know what I experience as a human being? Because you're not walking in my skin. So how do you
It
know?
doesn't matter what your skin is, sir. It's only
No.
one way to
What I'm
reproduce
talking about,
a
you're not
life,
walking
and
in my
that's a man and
body.
a woman.
You're not walking in my body. So let me ask you this question. So when you do
Yeah.
that, have you gone in and did any research on how sexuality is developed and how it's actualized?
Yes, in school.
Okay, what did they
Yes.
tell you in school?
It told me that being reproducing life requires a man and a woman.
Okay.
It requires an XY chromosome.
So
or
every time you
XX
have
chromosome.
sex, you having sex to reproduce?
Listen to me, sir.
No. Answer my question. Are you having sex to reproduce
Not
every
at
time?
this point in my life. I've already reproduced. I
Even
no
when you
longer
was
need to
young,
reproduce.
were you trying to have babies?
Yes, I was.
Oh, so you were intentional.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the
So
honesty.
my question to you is this: if you run across a grown person that is attracted to children,
That's
is
different.
that normal?
That's
Is that
different.
normal?
No.
It's sexuality. It's
No,
a sexuality. It's a purpose that they have.
It's a fetish.
You know why it's not
It's a
normal?
fetish.
Because it's perverted. The same way being attracted to another man is perverted. It's perverted. However you want to look at it, you done normalize being perverted and somehow tried to make it seem like it's a natural preference. Going into somebody's rectum, which is a dispensary for waste, is not normal.
Okay,
It's
well,
gay, and it's not normal.
I don't know if you know this, but straight people are having anal sex.
Listen to me, sir. It's
Okay.
not normal.
You're not
I
supposed
don't.
to have
It might not. It might not
The
be
butthole is
normal.
not a sexual organ.
It might not be normal, but that's how people have sex.
Brother, what you're doing is you're confusing your audience.
I'm not confusing
and you're
because I
trying to
know. Look,
somehow-
I
We're having an intellectual conversation. I'm not trying to, create, kick the can down the road. All I'm simply saying to you is, for some strange reason, for you to be a pastor, you are, strangely enough, a serious advocate against everything that's against the word that you preach. Because the Lord says that sex is between a man and a woman. If we want to reference the Bible, for example, we can go back to Sodom and Gomorrah. Why did God destroy the city? Because of pervertedness, because the people had lost their way. So my point to you is you're trying to advocate to this audience that's listening to you that somehow it's biology for a person to have a perverted thought. We think all kind of crazy stuff every day.
Well, first of all,
I think about
do me a favor. Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Define perverted.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say it again.
Define perverted. What is perverted? Give me the definition of perverted.
Brother, being perverted is when you're having perverted thoughts. It's a perversion. It's when you're thinking against what's normal. Often that can vary in terms of scope. So if you want to talk about perversion, that varies in scope. Being attracted to children is a perversion.
It's a fetish,
sick and it's disgusting. Brother, being gay is a fetish.
No, it
because
isn't.
it's not normal. It's not normal to have sex
It
with
is
men.
normal in terms of the percentage of the population.
With another man.
Normal in terms of percentage of population. 90% of the population is heterosexual. But for every exception, there's a rule. I mean, for every rule, there's an exception.
Okay, and then you know what that's called, brother? That's called a freak of nature.
A what?
That's what that's called. It's called a freak of nature. You can look at examples of nature where something is naturally supposed to be a certain way, but you do have those incidents where there is a freak of nature, meaning this is an offset of nature. You having a perverted thought about being with another man is not normal. That is a mental defect. You need therapy at that point. So what I'm telling you is you cannot reproduce life according to the word of God.
And every time you had sex, you were trying to reproduce life.
Yes.
Every time.
I was.
Okay, I appreciate you.
Almost every time.
Almost every time. Thank you. Caller, welcome to the program. Almost every time. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning. Hello. Hey. Yeah, got another one. Caller, welcome to the program.
Do you hear the fire? Do you hear what's not natural? You see how people get so irritated what goes on in somebody else's bedroom that has no effect on their own life? Now that's not normal. And y'all ain't start talking about what's not right by God until y'all read it in the book by that white man since the 40s. And y'all don't know what God said because y'all wasn't there with God. Is it unnatural when some of y'all are impotent and some of y'all got bad seeds and can't reproduce? Y'all don't talk about that sugar honey iced tea, but y'all get so mad and angry when you think about two men and two women. I think it's something deeper and ruder, just like the caller before this guy like Meech. I think Meech probably got turned down by one because he wasn't given access.
Okay, all right.
We just
Appreciate
keeping
you.
it
I'm
100.
going to stop
Have
you,
a
man.
good one.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Reverend Parris.
Oh man, don't get on me, Dr. Ward.
I don't know when you're gonna get this lesson.
Oh,
Just
man.
because somebody says the same thing over and over and louder doesn't make it true. And
I agree with that.
The Republican tech strategy of talking over you while you're trying to answer or speak, that'll never work. And you get that together.
All right. Caller, welcome to the program. Why don't we go to break, man? And I'm
Get yourself together. You get that together.
I'm gonna take a break and get myself together, and hopefully I'll be together enough to come back to complete the program. You listen to Community Voice. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
AM and 106.5 FM.
All right, welcome back to Community Voice. Caller, thank you for your patience. Welcome to the program.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, anybody at home or you guys can get it, check out The View. You're going to hear what a Republican voter think of our president. Well, y'all president, man.
Okay. All right.
But she said she voted for him 3 times. I think I seen this on Jimmy Kimmel. He's a worthless piece of, they blank her out so you know what she said. Homer word, sugar, honey, ice.
Well, too late now because she voted for him 3 times.
Yeah, she said now, it take this long. But then again, you got to look at this though. Rand Paul, I don't know, dude, been sort of speaking out. I never liked him, when Trump came in. But dude, I don't know. It's a few of them growing some kahunas.
Yeah.
Because who shocked me was
I think
the bleached blonde.
you're gonna see whole scale abandonment after the midterms. I think people, because at this point, they're just trying to get to the midterms, trying not to get primary, the whole piece. But the world is looking at him going like, dude's a joke. And now, my mother used to say that you're gonna need me before I need you. Right,
all the time.
So be careful how you talk.
You're gonna need me before I need you.
Right, because then guess what? You need that person, and they looking at you going up. But remember when you said that NATO?
Yeah.
I mean, and then wait a minute, just the arrogance to think that after everything I said to you, what kind of pimp move is this? Everything I done said to you. Now I need you to come in and do what I need you to do, and they looking at him going like, wrong.
How old was you mainly when you heard that?
What's that?
I said, what age you were? When I became a teenager, what she said, trying to smell your funk, huh?
Yeah. 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 I tell people, and here's another one of my mama's wise saying. She said, just come back the same way you left.
What that mean? No baby.
That means that if you was talking crazy when you left, let's see if you're talking crazy when you have to come back.
Hey,
I should write a whole book on the things my mama said.
It wasn't being no friend.
Yeah. All right, man.
My mother retired from the county also, but hey, they wasn't playing.
Where'd she work?
Freighter. Well, it was a county when she started. You know.
Yeah, my mom was out at county. County General. You could not convince me when General Hospital came on that they wasn't talking about Milwaukee County General Hospital. You could, even though they had that big fence in front of you, could not convince me otherwise. Like they talked about, because that's what it was, County General, right? You could not convince me as a kid. Appreciate you, man.
And a lot of young people I done run into, they said, my mama said I was born at the county. I said, that's Freighter, and they don't even know that.
Yeah, I think because it was like, that was a whole lot of
people.
All
right, have a good one.
Appreciate you. A whole lot of people born out at County General.
You see that? He wouldn't hang up when you said bye.
Oh man, people gotta have.
But then he said, all right, then when you start talking, he want to hang up now.
Okay, Mr. Al is back for the rebuttal, folks. Got bad feet.
Who got bad feet?
Somebody. Well, the caller backed up his position. Freak of nature is what he said. They calling out Mr. Keefe's ministry license.
Where you see that at?
It's in the comments.
Somebody want you to turn in your light. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want your license.
I don't know. No, they said calling me out. Okay. As I said before, we're not at the bottom.
Well, yeah, that was a gentleman that said that you're supposed to be a licensed preacher or pastor. Or
actually, I'm ordained, bro.
Yeah.
Why do Christians have a problem with being inclusive? Why can't people be different and be Christian?
It's a different one. This caller right here is different.
Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey, man. Good morning, guys. This is Rod out there. I'm just calling back.
Who? You got us on speaker again?
Well, actually, man, I'm in my car. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, but you know that
Hang
don't
up
work
on
too
him,
well.
man.
Yeah, I got
He
it
know
out
the
there.
rules. Hang up on
Man,
him.
I'm driving. I was driving.
Man, no, that ain't no
anyway.
excuse. Everybody else is driving too, man. You know the rules. You work here.
Listen, I break the rules, man. I break the rules.
All right, line stepper.
Yeah, but dude, I'm like you now. What the hell you take the day off for if you're gonna be on calling us all day?
Call me Teddy Cash. I'm walking live, brother. I'm walking live.
All right,
No,
brother.
but Liz, man, I was tuning in and I was just listening to, to what you were saying, Keith. And I normally don't agree with Meech at all, but with this particular thing, and I gotta agree with him. Sodom and Gomorrah was actually destroyed because of sin. He couldn't find not one righteous one in the city. So it wasn't because of hospitality. It wasn't none of that. It was because he couldn't find not one righteous one in the city. Secondly, you saying that, being gay is genetic and chromosomes and all this other stuff. And again, I got to push back because if you have a child that's born, you have to teach that child how to walk. You got to teach that child how to talk. And if you take a Chinese baby that's born in China, that if it stays in that environment, it's going to speak Chinese. But if you take that baby out of that environment, put that baby in the hood, it's going to adapt to what's around him because it's learned behavior. So even having sex on the regular with man and woman is a learned behavior because you would have to learn what to do.
I didn't have to learn.
And there's something going on with y'all phones, man. I can't hear y'all.
That's probably God.
Yeah, man. God messed up your line. My line was working perfectly before I called.
Well, can I throw this out, Jay?
Yeah, sure.
Most gay people grow up in straight households.
Yeah, but it's still a learned behavior. That's why.
Well, they didn't learn it. They didn't learn it. You were making the argument about how you Chinese and how you learn from that. But then how do you explain then that the overwhelming number of gay people grew up in straight homes?
Because when you leave out of the home and the people you associate yourself with, that's who you become. The same way that with gangbangers, you don't start off being in the gang, or you can be in the house full of pastors and preachers. But when you leave out of that house and you surround yourself,
the premise that you started this was that it was environmental,
right? So again, it's the people that you're tied to. So if again, okay, I'm gonna use me as an example. Born and raised in the household of preachers, pastors, first wife. I mean, that whole church statement. I went to church every day. But when I left out of the house, I had friends that was gangbanging, that was GD, that was gangbanging. And that is what sparked my interest because I was tied to those. And that's what caused me to start doing what I was doing.
So you're equating human sexuality with crime?
It's learned behavior, Keith. It's learned behavior.
Let me just talk about my little life experience. I don't know if it was learned or not, but I know what got me excited.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So by you knowing what got you excited, what taught you where to put your little Peter?
Because men didn't sexually excite me. Women
did.
But
what I'm saying is, even though they excited you, you still didn't know what to do.
Well, that's a whole different piece. I'm just talking about the sex drive. I'm talking about the attraction. What was my attraction? What was I naturally attracted to?
Because it's
women.
Because it's normal. It's normal for men to be attracted to women.
And why is it normal
for women?
Why is it normal?
To men?
Because the vast majority of people are straight.
No, that's not it. Because Keith, listen. First of all, it's normal. Just like in the animal kingdom, you have an animal, a cat or dog. You can't find not one cat or dog that's gay, not one, because it's natural for them. It's natural for them.
There might be one or two gay dogs out there. We don't know.
But what I'm saying is, it's natural for a dog to run up on another female dog, sniff her, and then try to hump her, because it's natural. You don't see no dog running up to no other male dog, sniffing the butt and trying to hump the butt. You don't see that.
And I don't run up on you sniffing up on you.
Because it's not natural for you to do that.
It's not
But
natural
if
for
you
me to
smell a
do it,
woman-
but
if
maybe
you
for
smell a
somebody
woman,
else.
That's because, again, Keith, let me ask you this. All right. So when you started having sex, you had to learn where to put your Peter.
No, I
Somebody had
didn't.
to show you. Somebody had to tell you. You had watched something. You watched something to teach you where to put
That's
your
the
Peter at, bro.
mechanics of it. We're talking about the drive.
No, bro. Damn the drive, Keith. Damn the drive. So you got to look
damn
at
the
this,
drive.
bro.
The drive is what causes it.
Wait, listen though. Exactly. Okay. But then after when you feel a certain way, you still got to know what to do. And that's taught. That's learned behavior.
Okay, but that's different. You talk about how you actualize. I'm talking about. Oh, man. I don't know, man. Let's. Okay. Let me. Oh Lord, Meech has the beginnings of a cult. Okay. When we're always trying to turn the show into church philosophy based off the oppressor's good book, when we need to learn our history pre-slavery and gain knowledge of self. The problem with Jermaine's theory is that for everything he's saying, he did not stay that way, I'm assuming. Somebody didn't write out take a PTO day. Somebody just said Trump is not natural. I was wondering how long it would be before the conversation went animalistic. And then someone said, Jermaine, why didn't you just come to work today?
Yeah, that would be me.
You know, and this has nothing to do with anything we're talking about. But I was in the car and I was thinking about the last conversation I had with my late friend, Elder Ron Lynn Banks. And Ron Banks said to me, he said, Keith, two things I've learned from you. He said, one, the importance and the value of words. And I appreciated that because I looked up to Ron, but the fact that he looked up to me for that. And then he said, then I also learned from you never to fall in love with a woman from behind. And so when I was thinking about that, I kept thinking, and I was asking Debo to confirm the line. I like big butts, and I cannot lie.
Other brother can't deny.
Right. And I thought about that, but then there was a counterintuitive song that came to my mind, a line that says, never trust a big butt and a smile, because that girl is poison. Mm-hmm. Caller, welcome to the program.
We don't have a caller.
We don't have a caller?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they went away.
Okay. Okay. I got that. I'm
just a waste of a good personal time off day, you know, just.
It says how much you love the place. And
now you do have a caller.
Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Keith. This is Rick calling you long distance from Germany, brother.
Talk Rick up, man.
We just talked you up, Rick. What's happening, man?
I would like to add to your conversation that I was taught that Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed not because of hospitality, not because of homosexuality, but because of the violence of the people one to another, men, women, and children. The violence is why the Creator, the Egyptian god that ruled the Hebrews, destroyed that particular city. And I just want to say that if you run across a gay person who is not a rapist, that's a blessed thing. Gay people are not by nature seducers and rapists, and very often are people who have thought deep and considered their own sexuality and the sexuality of humankind. And there in America, Trump is bringing back the hatred against gay people. I'm done, folks.
I appreciate you. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning. Hello. Hey.
Yeah, hi, this is Kathy. How you doing?
Oh, hey, Kathy.
Hey, I'm just calling Keith. I want to know when Sam's funeral services is. I was listening to Michelle.
Saturday, the visitation is from 10 to 11. The service starts at 11 at St. Matthew Church.
The old St. Matthews?
Yep.
Okay, and that's this Saturday?
Yes.
Yeah, he was a great person. Okay, I just wanted to get that down. You said the regular service started what time?
11.
11. And then, okay, 11 to 1?
Hey, this is an African American funeral. You would hope, but we don't know. So,
okay, no, I appreciate
because
that.
we still doing Jesse Jackson's funeral, and that was 2 weeks ago. So,
yeah, that's the truth. I went down there for that too. It was
did you?
really nice. Yeah, I went down. About 6 of us. We took the train down.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I got a brochure I could show you too.
And then you Ubered over?
Pardon me?
And then you Ubered over?
Well, we Ubered over, and then we have friends and relatives that took us back downtown.
Okay, cool.
We took the last train.
I
so we
never
have
thought
plenty of
about
time.
taking, like, if we go down to take the train down and then go over. Yeah.
Well, let me give you an example now. No one really runs a drive, so we said we just want to relax and talk about the event after that. So it cost us like, I think it was $27 for Uber to get over there. But on the way back, they said $69, but my cousin and them insisted on taking us back. So we had a lot of people that were going back that way. So we were going to take the bus back, but we ended up getting a ride back.
Okay.
And but a question I have real quick. Now, people are talking about all these different sexualities and people shouldn't be doing this with each other. I'm going to tell you something. Things have changed in this country. And I don't care what nobody do, as long as they're consenting adults. Hear the word adults. And I really don't consider a person an adult at 18, 19. No, they still live in a home and find their way. I figure 21. But that at 18 is still sufficient. So don't worry about what people are doing and what the Bible is doing. Some people ain't listening to the Bible, okay? As far as I'm concerned, if the Bible was all right, they would have had black people enslaved and not for that long and being prejudiced against us in all aspects of life, okay? Other countries are prejudiced against black people. So who am I to say that other people who have relations with the same sex are wrong? What's wrong in this country, we ought to respect people's what they do. If they're not breaking the law, you're 18 years old, you're consenting adults, consenting, not minors, okay? You do what you want to do. As long as you're not breaking the law and raping people, I don't care what sex mess with anybody, okay? Do what you do and mind your own business, because this country, you're going to find nobody perfect, whether they're in church or not. Okay, have a good weekend.
All right, you too. Caller, welcome to the program. No.
That's the butt-naked truth.
And let me, some of this, especially when you look at black men, we have this hyper masculinity because of a certain level of insecurity. And so anything that threatens our insecurity, man, we go full force with it. So I can understand, and I won't just say black men in general. We have very, very fragile psyches, and anything can really throw us off. And the one threat to us, our masculinity, our manhood, is issues around sexuality. Where you have guys out and they're trying to nail everything that moves, right? And a lot of that. So what makes me a man? How do I define manhood? Maybe it's more expansive than some of these customs and practices we have into what makes you a man. Caller, welcome to the program.
Brother, I want to ask you a question. If a man rapes another man or a kid, is he a homosexual? The guy the rapist, is he a homosexual?
He committed a homosexual act.
So would he be homosexual?
I don't know.
Because I heard the other brother called in and he talked about rape. Most male rapes throughout the whole world male rapes is done by other males that are gay that do this.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
So they straight. So you telling me? So you sound like the old prison dude that go to jail and he has sex with the man, but he won't let him poke him, but he pokes others. He say he ain't gay. Okay.
I mean, but to say that, what are you leading to when you make that argument?
The argument is that most males that are raped in this country are raped by homosexual men. That's the point. And okay, so you can try to dress it up, put some makeup on it, and some lipstick on it, but it's still a pig. So when you say these things, and you address it, that's just like the boy in jail that say he's not gay because he don't do it. And I'll tell you something else. Everybody that go to jail don't get raped by a homosexual. Some guys in the jail system don't want to be raped. They say that's my man right there. This big
Okay,
old dude
but
coming.
okay,
No, when he come in, he gonna make that boy. Hold on, he ain't gonna rape that boy. He gonna make that boy.
I think
have sex
you
with
know
him
what,
because he's a man.
and look, I know I'm talking to the wall because
No, you're
people.
not.
No, I am because I'm not gonna move anybody off their square. You know, people feel strongly about this, and let me emphasize the word "feel strongly about it." You know, nobody's gonna say, you know, maybe I should go and do some research on it just to confirm. No, we don't. We're not going to do that. What we're going to do
right now?
No, you could talk about. I'm talking about when we talk about the origins. When we talk about the origins and how sexuality works, we're not going to look that up. We're going to go on what we know.
To quickly address too. I got to go right quick because I want to say this. One guy called in and said this predates. We need to go back before slavery. Don't you know? In some countries right now, and back then, if they caught you doing it, they would stone you, hang you, beat you. It was absolutely irate,
why do you think? Why do you think they did that,
brother? Because it's unnatural.
What was the fear? But what was the fear?
It's unnatural.
What was the fear?
Unnatural act.
What was the fear?
Whether you put God in it or not.
No, I'm asking you. What was the fear that drove it?
Well, the fear is no production.
There you go. No production. But then that would operate from the premise that if
a woman is bearing, right?
No, that would operate from the premise that if most men had a choice, then they would choose to be gay. That's the premise that it's operating from.
If most men had an option, they would choose to be gay.
Right.
Why would they choose to be gay, man?
Oh, y'all just said it was a choice.
Hold on, let me say this to you.
No, you just said it was a choice. You're arguing as a choice. So then I guess the fear behind it was that if I had the option, then I would choose men over women. That's how it works, right?
Brother, women, there would never be a choice with a logic.
It wouldn't be a choice.
You know why?
Why? Why?
Women come in all kind of
flavors. A natural drive. It's a natural drive.
Trout, catfish, all kind of salmon.
Okay.
A man come in one flavor. That's boo-boo.
Okay, man. Appreciate you. Caller, welcome to the program. You just killed your own argument. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Hey, what's going on, Keith Debo?
What's happening, man?
Oh, man, a lot of comedy. There'll be some great comedians coming in town soon. And I think some of those jokes that the previous caller has told all this morning, they could use. But did your mother ever talk about a hit dog and the rest?
Oh, yeah.
Like mine did, Keith?
Oh, yeah.
How they holler the loudest?
Mm-hmm.
Because like Trump, most MAGites, or MAGA, whatever they call themselves these days, most of them talk about, shootings in Chicago, transgender people, sodomy, Sodom and Gomorrah, and at the same time, their leader was talking about the size of Arnold Palmer's man parts. And so, and at this time, I think in the past week, he has about 2,000 bodies on him. So the lie about most of the killing in this country is being done by sodomites, he may be very correct. Because if you're talking about another man's genitals, you may be a sodomite. But I digress. Yesterday, the same person called talking about what President Obama ran on, and that he ran on the Patriot Act. Well, actually, in 2008, we were in a depression, right, Keith?
Yeah, I thought he was focusing in on making sure that the country would not go into another Great Depression.
Saving the economy of America, the auto industry in the world was what he ran on. Yep. So that's another lie. So I just have homework for our brother who seems to be a hit dog. He likes to talk about homosexuality and transgenders in sports. Brothers, did y'all know that there's a total of 10 college athletes that are transgender? And most of them are not playing major sports?
Right, out of thousands and thousands, maybe
hundreds
million.
Of thousands.
But what it points to, and is that it triggers certain programming that we've had, right? And so you have a natural reflex to it. Men playing women's sports. I know. I think Eric Wallace had called and asked me, and George called and asked me, do I think men should be playing in women's sports? And of course, my answer is no. Of course, I don't think men should be playing in women's sports. And then we talk about that whole issue of trans or transgender individuals. It is such an insignificant and statistically part of our society, yet it has an outsized part of our conversation. Why? Because people play on our fears, they play on our phobias, all those things that they play on, and you can push a button. So when people had a problem with me having Eric Wallace on, I said, but some of y'all agree with Eric Wallace. Because when he started talking about trans, I know there were people out there going like, and he right. And again, and I guess the frustration becomes, did you bother to look it up? If you look it up and you still feel the same way, then fine.
Well, I guess, Keith, ignorance is what I'm calling about, like the ignorance, and that we make sure that, I try to make sure I call back when our brother calls in and tells all his lies and give him some homework. So at some point, he said something about mental illness. What is the mental illness that the American Psychiatric Society calls self-hate? Like when you hate yourself, your race, so much that you're willing to cling to a narrative that has been dead for over a year, that at the gas pump, there are white people who are very racist, who hate you probably more than you can imagine, that are begging the man who you're backing to help them out at this point.
Yeah.
What do they call that mental illness when you hate yourself and your own people so much that you're willing to call every day, lie, and try to bring other things into the conversation and connect things that don't have anything to do with each other? Right. And think we're stupid enough to believe them.
I hear you, man. I agree. And again, and I guess I kind of come to this by accident. Because look, I was a victim of my upbringing. I was a victim of my catechism, what I heard in church. And so that had influence on how I viewed sex. I get a job at Planned Parenthood, and part of you working for Planned Parenthood is that you have to take a I think it's like 4-week course on human sexuality, right? Okay. From a science perspective. Now you have a different understanding because it's biology, right? It's biology before it's anything. But because of that, and I'm telling you, man, there's still things that my programming I kind of react to, because it's hard to unlearn those things that have like putting in. Like I said that I could hear fire and brimstone messages about gay people and how gay people are going to bust the very gates of hell. And Jesus never talked about it. But Jesus talked about divorce, and I have yet to hear a fire and brimstone message about divorce. I wonder why.
And we also didn't hear the fact that the person that killed Charlie Kirk was a Trump supporter from a family of Trump supporters.
Right.
And to leave out certain information and try to misinform your own people, Brother Meach, that's why I think the Spider-Man suit would be an improvement on the last suit that I saw the brother in, because the top hat, the green top hat he had on, had a clock in it. He had on genie shoes. And like I said, Cat Williams could probably use that outfit when they do Last Friday. So I want to monetize his talent, and so if he would want to call in and maybe we can, talk to your station and get some of these jokes told. And who would y'all have? I want to ask people that too. In a movie, who would y'all have play Meach if there was a movie about your station, for example?
Cat Williams.
Yeah, I concur.
It would have to be Cat.
He would do a great Meach. I would love to hear him do All She Wanted Was a Quickie. And so I want to thank our brother for the quickie today. And
can't feel the presence of the Lord.
I welcome the time to correct his lies anytime that y'all give me time.
He directed
thank
that
y'all
song,
so
didn't he?
Yes, he can.
Yeah, he did.
He directed that
he
song.
did. What was that, Friday after next? No, that was last Sunday or first
Sunday.
First Sunday, yeah.
Maybe Meach and Cat Williams could play in Sinners, like a spoof of Sinners, like the Wayans brothers, and they could be twins.
Man, say bye.
I just want to make the brother, because I think it's money that he thinks he's going to get from this grift that is over with. You know, I think it's killing those children when that comes out, and we ain't forgot about his best friend Jeffrey. So to support a lot of pedophiles, but then talk about God, I think Meech, you know, he has a lot of growing to do, and sometimes an old dog can learn new tricks. And Meech, I'm here for you, my brother. Y'all have a good one.
All right, man. Appreciate you. I got one more caller.
No, that ain't. Don't nobody else want to talk to you. Oh, man. Somebody called out front though. They did leave a message for you out there.
Oh man, I'm getting. What was it?
They said they
fan mails from a flounder.
They said they're Baptists. They're Baptists, and they want you to hush.
Okay. They Baptists,
and they want you to hush.
Want me to hush.
That obviously means they don't agree with you.
And you know what? For all my good Baptist friends, you don't have a problem with that gay man or woman playing your organ
or directing your
or
choir.
director your choir, and you taking their money every Sunday. You don't have any problems with that. I'm just trying to figure out the hypocrisy of it all, but I think it's something. And folks, it's not invincible ignorance. If you take the time, we're not going to take the time. I told Meech, I'm talking to the wall because it's a lot easier to put it on automatic, go for what you think you know, until it's your family member or someone you love. And now there's a different perspective because now there's some humanity attached to it.
And
now,
some acceptance.
Right. And also rejection, because I've seen parents, when their child came out to them, they lost their minds. Same time, dude can come home and said he just made a baby out of wedlock and she ain't putting him out the family.
Right.
Caller, welcome to the program.
Morning, Keith. This is Johnny. How you doing?
I'm good, John.
John, why do you wait till the end of the show?
Yeah.
I was listening and I was looking at the dictionary for all kind of words like racism and everything, trying to get myself a little educated, trying to figure out, did the anti-Semites call themselves racist? They did not. But people used to use the word racial as a different way. And then I tried to say, well, when was the first time they used it as a neutral term? Some different writers would say like the race of violin players, and then they would use it like a national term, non-racial. In the sense of today. So it didn't really become a negative term until around the turn of the century, about the 1900s.
What didn't become a negative term?
Race.
Race is a construct that ain't real.
Well, I agree. That's why I just wanted to look it up to see, because I keep hearing you guys say that it's, on the one hand, a racial social construct, and then you keep saying that.
No, because it's something that Hassan Jeffries said. He said, race is a construct. Racism is real. Okay.
Right, so
what they're saying is there's no biological basis for race.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it means species in generic terms, or the way it used to be used, like the British race versus the French race. It wasn't a color thing.
Exactly.
Originally.
Color was used to support colonization and enslavement.
Thomas Sowell said that it's actually a justification for why they violated the Constitution's principle that all people were equal. But that's when it really took off, because they had to
rationalize. It's who you considered people.
Right, exactly, because it said all people are created equal.
Right. So if you're 3/5 of a human, then you're not fully human. Therefore, they're not talking about me.
Correct. Right.
So it's what we do, but there's always been a certain ethnic condescension to people outside my group. Right. Race was introduced as a way, as a means. You know, one of my favorite books is Neil Painter's The History of White Folks. And it goes in and talks about how in the 15th century, that because of entrees into South America, into Asia, by Europeans and into Africa, how do you differentiate? Well, color was a very easy way, because look, if you're in Ireland, how do you know the difference between Irish? One could be Protestant, one could be Catholic. You wouldn't know that by looking at them unless you saw them in church. But you can look at me and say, you know what? He's African. And because then what you do is you devalue that appearance to say that the darker you are, the less meaning or less value you have as a person.
Right.
So, I mean, so when people go up and so when people say, well, black people are racist, No, because if you look at what racism is systemic. Racism is practices, right, that are used to subjugate, to suppress people, to marginalize people who look a certain way. And then resources are either allocated or withheld based on how a person looks.
Now you just added in the 60s and 70s definition. Because wasn't originally, the power trip was not the issue originally. The sense itself of saying I'm superior was the original when it started getting negative. So the 60s and 70s, they bring in that power dynamic. I just looked it up and I was like, when did they start this thing about power? And it was this whole thing with Stokely Carmichael and some of his predecessors.
Oh, when he said black power?
Right around there. And some of his predecessors, and then some 1970s woman professor. I can't remember her name.
Well, I think we got to remember, though, black was pejorative. It was a negative before it was embraced, right? And so it was embraced as a reaction to the racism that one experienced.
Which is two different subjects, isn't it? Isn't that the beauty of black is different from, and black power are different from.
It should be the beauty of my African roots, because my African roots then gives me my complexion, but I'm more than my complexion.
Correct.
I asked this question last week. What do you see when you look in the mirror? Right? I mean, I'm a human being, man. I mean, and so then when people strip me from or devalue my culture, right? You heard people talking about pre-enslavement. You know, when you devalue that, I was saying this to somebody, said, you do know that African people worship God before they were ever introduced to Christianity.
Every culture has a name.
Exactly. But somehow, because part of that marginalization says that what you do culturally is inferior, is defective. I was talking to a young man I know. He's African American, very successful. He's gay. He's married to another man. He talked about how when he was looking in the Bible, he said, I was looking for answers. And I said, you know what? You look at it from a position of deficit because people told you. And he said, look, I got a double whammy. Not only am I gay, I'm a black male. You know, and then and I used to hear, you know, black gay men say this. They go, oh, so I'm going to choose to be gay. I got everything going on being a black man. And then on top of that, I'm going to choose to be gay with all the hatred that goes with being gay. That's so when people say it might not have been in your mind, you think it's a choice. But when you talk to folks who are gay, they give you a very different experience, right? In terms of what they're feeling, what their emotions were, you know, but see, that's the science, and we don't want to do the science because the science is hard. We prefer just to fall back. Oh, God said this. Well, the same part of Deuteronomy that talks about a man shouldn't lay with another man, it also in that book, in that particular book, you shouldn't eat lobster. How many good Baptist righteous folks are tearing down the doors at Red Lobster? How many black folks are eating cheeseburgers? I'm talking about good Baptist folks. How many good Baptist folks are wearing wool blend? That's all in the 613. So we can try to use the Bible then to demonize. We were talking yesterday. So people use the Bible to say Ham was cursed because Ham was the darkest of the brothers. That trope was used to justify enslavement.
But so the dark thing was added in later. That's what I was trying to say to you later, that people started to add the color to him. There was nothing in the Bible that said he was darker as far as I remember.
Well, that's how he was depicted.
That later, yeah.
Okay, and then why was that necessary? Because it supported a certain narrative that people wanted to have. You know, so when people hear me say tongue in cheek, I got a problem with white Jesus because Jesus wasn't European. But then I got a problem with black Jesus too because Jesus wasn't African. So I mean, you know, when we do this because we're going to do this to support the Klan. What I mean by the Klan is our immediate group, right? And so God looks like us.
Right.
So when I say, but though most people who are thinking would go, why would God have a gender? But we attach that. I think that's called I can't even think of the big word now. Anthropomorphism. There you go. That's the big word, right? That we put human characteristics on the divine. Well, if just your logic should tell you that the divine is bigger than humanity.
It's got to be right. It's got.
I mean, that's logical thinking.
It's got to be.
All right, man. I got.
Hey, one more thing, real quick.
Real quick, man. You got 30 seconds.
Gomorrah was rape. That's what it actually was. It was homosexual rape. It wasn't homosexuality.
And what was that? They wasn't raping them because they was gay. They were raping them to humiliate them because they were strangers.
Yeah.
And in ancient times, that's what people did on the battlefield.
Right.
And it was a form of humiliation.
Correct.
All right. Appreciate you, man. Hey, Clark, thank you. Debo, thank you. I guess listeners, hopefully I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you.
Hopefully.
You have them good God-fearing Baptist folks.
Oh,
get a
man,
hold
they
of
had
you.
the Baptists out here.
Tar and feather you.
Hey, y'all, I'm a Baptist too, y'all. Anyway, good Lord willing, creek don't rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. And as always, go from this place in peace.
Clear.
AU.